RIT RCORP Lecture Series on working with vulnerable populations. In this video, we'll focus on issues pertaining to working with clients from military culture. In this video, we'll address how to start the conversation and work through stigma with military clients. We'll go over some common hurdles as well as solutions for engagement and establishing credibility. We'll also provide further resources for clients as well as for clinicians. An initial issue in treatment might be how to start the conversation or establish rapport. A client may be very guarded for a variety of reasons, including fear of harm for sharing, or even feeling like a personal failure for attending therapy. Some solutions include discussing limits of confidentiality, inviting the client to share their unique concerns, and providing a brief overview of how therapy can work. Bill is a 25-year-old Army corporal who's been experiencing anxiety and depression for several months, but who has been reluctant to seek treatment. Some issues include viewing treatment as a sign of weakness and/or personal failure, and fear that his team will lose confidence in him. Some solutions include explaining the terms and limits of confidentiality. For example, if they seek counseling from either a private therapist or an organization like Military OneSource, no one will ever have to know they're in treatment, except in rare instances required by law. It's also important for clinicians to be candid about their limitations of knowledge of military culture and experience, and to explain the functioning of therapy, as well as being mindful of biased messaging. Like other cultures, the military has its own set of ethos and norms. Bill believes that he shouldn't need therapy to do his job, that he should be strong enough because he was trained to do it. In such a situation, a clinician might respond by utilizing motivational interviewing skills, particularly affirmations, with the following example response to Bill. I see that you view yourself as weak for being unable to adjust to civilian life after something as arduous as deployment. Personally, I see it as a sign of your strength. You became such a great soldier that you primed yourself to be keenly adjusted to that environment, and now you're still trained in that way. Maybe over time, we can also help you train yourself to adjust to being in a different environment. I think that if you can become good at what you did, you're able to do anything. Sometimes military people experience conflict between the different expectations and messages of military and civilian life. Bill is reluctant to seek therapy because he worries that therapists won't be able to relate to his experiences or understand military culture. As civilian mental health workers, we sometimes lack familiarity with a particular culture. In such cases, it's advised not to feign knowledge of military culture because military personnel will pick up on our inauthenticity. Instead, we can try to ally ourselves with clients via cultural humility. We should focus on establishing rapport via humanistic and motivational interviewing skills. For example, we might say the following: I don't know military culture, but perhaps between your expertise and my curiosity, coupled with what I know about mental health, biology, and the brain, we can work together to help you feel better. While working with military people, we can do several things to try to reduce stigma. For example, we can explain to Bill that therapy can help provide skills that anyone can use to monitor and manage their mental health and wellness. We can also provide psychoeducation to Bill on how he can learn to use his mental health and physiological symptoms as a barometer to monitor his well-being. We can reduce stigma by discussing how all humans have such bodily sensations and they are not unique to him. For example, if Bill's heart rate is higher than normal upon waking and he feels afraid, that signals to him that he needs to do mindfulness exercises to restore his equilibrium. In remembering that the military is a unique culture, it's important to ensure that our office spaces and organizations are not unintentionally sending messages that can be considered offensive to military culture. This can include office magazines, mission statements, and more. Here are some resources that clinicians can offer to military people and their families. Military OneSource offers confidential counseling. The Veteran Crisis Line is also an excellent resource. Here are some additional resources for clinicians to learn about military culture.